Good morning. We are back in the garage. Just this morning, I'm going to finish making some cuts. I'm gonna try my best to knock out all of the cabinets. It's not gonna be physically possible because I have a 9 a.m. hair appointment. I think it's already 8:15. So I'm gonna do one cabinet. Then we're gonna go get our hair done. We're gonna do some listener questions. It's gonna be great. Hello again, good morning. Got my hair cut, looking fresh. I know I probably look exactly the same, but I think I'm looking fresh. And we're gonna do a little bit of listener questions. Then I'm going to just go through emails for a bit, and I have acupuncture this afternoon. But in between, I'm gonna go back into the garage. So I'm not spending a ton of time on work things today, which I like. I think I've really come a long way from like work, always on the computer. And now I think especially because we have a team, you know, we have Ashley and we have Nishi, and then we also have some other contributors too, that I think that just really helps me not have to do everything. And so it's just, I feel really weird that I have all this available time to do things that I love and have appointments for myself. But I did create it that way. Like I did design it when I realized that there was a problem with, you know, the amount of stress that I was dealing with and just like busyness. But yeah, I just wanted to like take a minute to just be like grateful for that situation. But let's do a little bit of work. Let's answer Julia's question. Hi Danny, my name is Julia. I am 20 years old. I'm a college student studying nursing at Purdue University. I listened to your podcast about amenorrhea and I would love your input. I was a cross-country runner and suffered with anorexia in my middle school years, which is 7th to 8th grade. I did have amenorrhea during this time. I worked with a gyno-endocrinologist, sports dietitian and trainer, and I got my period back. It was regular and all was good. Then I went on birth control my junior year of high school, trying to help with breakouts. Was on it until May this year, about 3.5 years. I started doing research on the gut microbiome and decided I needed to get off of it. I got the non-hormone copper IUD, although I am not currently in a relationship, so I'm not having sex, but I haven't had a period since then. My gyno checked the following labs: prolactin, LH, TSH. And she gives me some numbers for that. Last month, I did the Prevera challenge. I did not have withdrawal bleed, only cramping after going off of it. I'm 5'3", I weigh 126 pounds. I still count my calories, eating 2,700 calories a day, and I'm dedicated to my cardio and lifting routine. I still struggle with the mental side of food, but always eat my calories. I admit I'm always concerned with getting fat. I focus on whole foods and limit processed food. I mostly eat chicken, but also eat salmon and beef sometimes. I don't have a lot of money because I'm in college, but I'm desperate for help. What do you suggest? Okay, so I never really read these questions before I decided to start filming generally. So let's kind of like break down how I like pick apart this question. And this is a little bit of an insight into honestly like how we work with clients here, where it's not like when we have a client intake, it's not really all of the facts you're giving me that I'm taking into account. It's how you're giving them to me And it's like all of them in context together, right? So seeing your history, right, with amenorrhea and anorexia, then considering that you've been on the pill, and then considering that you have taken steps towards figuring out why your cycle disappeared again, right? Because, hang on a second, I was on it till May. I started doing research. I went off the pill. Okay, okay. I was like, hang on. Did you lose your period again? You did. So you don't have a period. You have that history. You've been on the pill. You don't have a period right now, and you did not pass the Provera challenge. And if your listener doesn't know what that means, I have a whole video on it. It's the progesterone challenge, where you take a pill for about 10 days and see if it can elicit a bleed. And if you do not have a uterine lining build up, you will not have a bleed. And so this tells us you're not producing estrogen, right? If you do pass, it tells us you are, and that you're much closer to recovery than not. But if you haven't passed, you well and truly have HA. So, okay. And now 5'3", 126, 126 pounds, 2 kilograms. I need to do that check. So I see that you probably feel like, oh my gosh, I'm eating so much food, and my height and weight ratio it's not something crazy. No one's worried about me, what's going on. But you also recognize in yourself, Julia, that you focus on whole foods and limited processed foods, and you are restrictive with the types of animal proteins that you eat. You're probably restrictive with other things. You probably have food rules and exercise rules, right? There's probably rules going on. Like, if I don't exercise today, I can't eat as much. Or I also, someone says, I mostly eat chicken, but I have no further context. Like, what does that mean? Does mostly mean 2 days a week, 3 days a week? Does mostly mean you have a tiny little incy portion of chicken? All of this really matters. So, understanding that you're like, I don't have a lot of money, so I can't do like these tests or working with people. I'm gonna recommend 2 options for you. One is that you sit down with a journal and you do a review for yourself of like what all of your sort of food rules are. Like, what are all of the beliefs that you have around what you can eat, or how you should exercise, or how your exercise impacts your eating. All of those rules, look at them, and then try to step back and look at them objectively. Do these make sense, or are these nonsensical? And then you need to take actions against them. So you're at what we call the ceiling, which is, I've made the changes that I'm willing to make within the boundaries that I'm comfortable with. So I'm willing to eat 2,700 calories, but they have to come from these places. Like, that's probably your ceiling if you're having a hard time breaking that, right? They have to come from whole foods and limited processed foods. Of course, that's great. Of course, eating whole foods and limited processed foods is good, but there's something about it that's not serving you, right? And you say right here, I'm always concerned with getting quote unquote fat. And that's the root cause here. That's the problem, Julia. That fear alone is causing you to hold on to certain behaviors, like only eating certain things in certain ways, because you're afraid of that. So my other suggestion for you is that you be diving into that fear. You need to wrestle and grapple with that, okay? It is an irrational fear. It is founded on fear, right? Like, it's founded on unimportant, on untrue, and on unrealistic expectations. And that is the root cause of your issue that you highlighted right here in front of us. You've highlighted the behaviors that's causing you to do, and those two things are stopping your period from coming back. Point blank. So I'm hoping that that's helpful enough for you, that you're able to use that to make some changes and push past, like, okay, I totally acknowledge that I do this one behavior, so I'm gonna change that, right? 'Cause this is where you're gonna get your period back, is in changing the behaviors that you're doing based on fear. Okay? I hope that was helpful. Happy Vlogmas. Guys, I think that that's it for this episode, right? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please submit your questions to me, danny@thehasociety.com, or comment below, or shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm going to check all those different places, and I'm going to do my absolute best to answer all of the questions. So yeah, if you like that, if you're getting value out of these questions, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss an episode of Vlogmas, right? And tomorrow we're going to go through it all again. So I'll see you guys later.